YouTube, what's poppin'? I'm at it once again, not even 24 hours later. I'm doing another video. I told you we'd do it, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna talk about Derek Carr. Uh-oh. It's the danger zone. Yep, Derek Carr. Either you love him, or you hate him, or you don't know. Either way, we're gonna talk about him today, and we're gonna discuss if he's meant for the Raiders anymore, or should we just let him go next year or whenever his contract's up. I'll probably put that up in the corner right there. But anyways, we entered the danger zone. We're in it. We're ready to win. And this is a new Raiders. This is a new season. Let's go. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. Even if you don't even like me, that's cool. We can do that. But anyways, let's go back. And let's go to Derek Carr and let's talk about him and what I see as far as not just Derek Carr as the player, but how Gruden is evolving this offense over the last couple of years. How I feel about Derek Carr. He's a good average quarterback. That doesn't mean anything bad. It means that he's average. He's good. He needs a good defense. He needs a good offensive line. We'll find out this year because they traded away all their offensive line. They traded away Rodney Hudson. They traded away also Gabe Jackson. So those are two major keys that he was relying on. Also, we traded away Trent Brown, which wasn't really a good idea to begin with. So he wasn't really playing full time. So we're not really missing too much. But Derek Carr is a 30 touchdown guy, a 35 touchdown guy, which isn't bad. But you could give him DeAndre Hopkins. You can give him your best wide receiver in the NFL, and he's still going to produce those same numbers. But that's just who he is. He slings the ball when he wants to, but he kind of makes questionable decisions that make you want to punch the TV. But he's going to give you that 4,000 yards now because that's how the NFL is pretty much run. You can pass all day, but running is kind of difficult. Simply because of the rules on defense. You have to give him way too much to be successful. Other quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, which you don't often get in a draft, especially not this draft, you have about one or two guys that are going to transition to the NFL, but we don't know if they're going to be any good. So that's why organizations stick with quarterbacks for so long, because every once in a while you'll have a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback come through the draft. I don't see it in this draft. I don't see it in Lawrence at all, but other people would argue the fact that he is. But regardless, this is about Derek Carr. Derek Carr, as far as his organization is concerned, I see them moving on. Of several reasons I saw in this offseason. They needed money. They did not extend his contract whatsoever. They might do it later on, but they needed the money right away. To get defensive players, they rather cut or trade players than extend his contract. If they would have extended his contract, they would have freed up so much more money, and then that would have pretty much freed up a lot of room so they can pick up more people on the defense, aka help him out in the games that he can actually win. The other thing that I've seen with this offense is his transition about 3 or 4 times, and he's basing it off of the players that he has. Now, I know for certain that Gruden wants to run an RPO type of offense. How difficult in your mind as a fan, and you're just an NFL fan, and you've seen Derek Carr play, how many times have you seen Derek Carr run an RPO? Probably once or twice, maybe 3 times at tops. So, where the organization / John Gruden is going to go with pretty much the whole team, because we're stuck with him for another, 6 years. We're stuck with John Gruden for quite a while now, unless Mark Davis decides to fire him, which we all know he's not going to do. But in reality is that Gruden's offense has evolved in the last couple of years. First, we started off with just the basic offense because a lot of the guys didn't understand the terminology whatsoever. Even Derek Carr wasn't on the same level as Gruden as far as his brainwave goes. Last year, we saw the passing offense open up. The year before that, we saw nothing but running through Jacobs, and now we're wondering where Jacobs went. It's not Jacobs, it's the offense in general. Gruden wants to do an RPO type offense. He's been on the record before he even came to the Raiders how he would run RPOs all game long. You're not going to see Derek Carr doing too many RPOs. This is why I think they might be moving on from him. Not only are they not extending his contract, or maybe waiting out to see how he runs in Gruden's offense this year, maybe they're just waiting that out to see how good he is in this type of offense. But that's why we signed Drake. That's why we signed all these offensive players. Think about why do we have so many wide receivers right now? That should be the question mark right now. We have Edwards. We have Ruggs. We picked up Brown. We picked up Willie Snead. Why do we have so many wide receivers right now? And then we're going to use Drake in the passing game as well. You got to question what he's doing on offense. And you can look no further than Kansas City. Andy Reid and John Gruden come from the same tree of coaching. And they come from the same tree of coaching. That means basically they think alike. So Gruden is going to emulate Kansas City's offense a little bit, but he wants to run the RPO like crazy. I know what he wants to do. And then there's also another standpoint of what I was talking about earlier. They could be waiting to see how well he performs. You don't want to give Derek Carr another contract. We already gave him a big contract at that time. Now it looks like, pennies of the dollar right now. But at that time, it was a huge contract, and they weren't sure if he was even worth the money. I think they're at the point right now, he's getting up there in age, which I can't really say too much because I'm older than Derek Carr. But I'm not a football player and a quarterback of an NFL franchise. He's getting in his 30s, which is kind of old for a quarterback. You want a younger guy to kind of lead your franchise, especially the Las Vegas Raiders, no longer Oakland. So we're moving on in general when it comes to everything. We keep on transitioning. And so is Gruden's offense. Gruden's really smart when it comes to offense. He's really stupid when it comes to defense. I specified that in my first video, that he really doesn't get the fact that we actually do need a defense. We can't score 60 points a game and win. It's not going to happen all the time. Now, he can continue to run with Derek for this year. Do you see him there next year? I don't see them doing too much this year as far as looking for a quarterback. They got Marcus Mariota for one more year. They're going to use him if the offense doesn't work out too well in Gruden's mind. If it doesn't work out too well in Gruden's mind, I think they're going to go straight to Marcus Mariota simply because the RPOs, the running game, he wants to go back to the running game / short passing game. The long stuff is not where the NFL is at. That's where you get all your yards now is the RPOs, and that's exactly what Gruden's looking for. I remember, I think it was Gruden's coaching camp where he talked about how nowadays all you can pretty much do is RPOs and the defense can't do really anything about it. So I think he's pretty much focused in trying to transition this whole offense pretty much what Kansas City's is, but a little bit of difference and nuances, of course, so Andy Reid doesn't know what's going on. That's why Andy Reid was kind of caught off guard this year because he wasn't expecting the passing game coming from Gruden. He was expecting the running because he always wants to pound the rock. He always wants to pound the rock. Well, he's changed his mind a little bit. He hears you guys. He hears everything you have to say. Trust me. And what he's doing is changing his game. He's a smart dude when it comes to offense. About as far as when it comes to running a team and organizing not only the team and the defense, it's kind of questionable right now, as we all see. But as far as running an offense, there is no question about it. This dude knows what he's doing. He can make Derek Carr perform at a high level, even higher than he did at 2016. Now, Derek Carr is not that bad of a quarterback, but he's getting up there in age. I simply don't think there's anyone in the draft that you can replace him with or use as basically someone that can learn underneath of him. It probably would be in the next year's draft. But as far as this year's draft is concerned, it's mainly defensive players, wide receivers, you're a couple of running backs that are actually somewhat decent, but not quarterbacks. All your quarterbacks will pretty much be gone by the third round, but nothing spectacular, nothing to trade up for unless you really have one of those high picks, but nothing to replace Derek Carr over. I could be completely wrong, but I know how that offense works as far as the West Coast offense goes. And everything I've heard on social media as far as Twitter goes and Instagram and everything, the YouTube videos that I see, how we're going to run our offense with the wide receivers and also the running backs. They're not going to double up on running backs like that. They got Josh Jacobs and Drake. They're not going to run them, have whatever Jacobs as a third down back and then have Drake as an every down back. They're going to move Drake all the way around. And the only way you can do that is with the spread offense. I don't really see the transition too well of what Gruden wants to do with Derek Carr. But at the same time, I advocate this whole thing. He could be very successful in it. He did it at Fresno for a little bit. But do we have that number one wide receiver on our offense? I don't know. But anyways, tell me what you think. Tell me that, I got a lot of people telling me Derek Carr is the future of the Raiders, even though he's 30, 31 years old. They're telling me he's the future. He's the dude who's going to lead us to the Super Bowl. I'm still waiting for the playoffs. He led us to the playoffs in 2016, kind of. He led Connor Cook to the playoffs. And then, Jadeveon Clowney kind of messed that up for us as well. But anyways, we really need to focus on the future as the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. Got a future on. You can figure out this offense, and the offense will be better. The defense needs to get better in a hurry. We can't keep on letting them score 30 points a game. As far as Derek Carr goes, I don't want to seem like I'm hating on him at all. I like Derek Carr. I have his jersey in my closet. I like Derek Carr. I just don't think in the long term he's the best fit anymore. I thought he was the best fit when, we had Matt Schaub. I thought he was the best fit when we had all those other quarterbacks. Now I'm kind of like, all right, I think I've seen his ceiling. I think I kind of see that he's good, but we don't have that great of a team to be riding on his shoulders to get to the promised land. Are you telling me that we need an all-pro defensive end and Khalil Mack, and then we can make it to the playoffs? Would have we made it further with Derek Carr in the playoffs? I don't think so. Jadeveon Clowney completely destroyed that whole game with, I can't remember the linebacker's name, Marcellus or something like that. I'll put it up in the top because I suck with names. But I'll put it up in the top. They wrecked the game. That defense destroyed. That was Romeo Cornell's defense. They would have wrecked us. I don't think we would have made it too further in that playoff series. So seeing that whole scenario again in hindsight, I definitely say he would have took us to one playoff game. Anything after that is very questionable. I'm looking towards the future and thinking more so in an organization standpoint. You eventually got to draft the guy that's going to supersede him, the guy that's going to be your next starting quarterback. You can't hold on to him until he's about 40 or 50 years old. He is not Tom Brady. He might be the right fit for this year, but not in the long term. Again, please like, subscribe, comment. No negativity, please. I don't want to hear any of that. Just good football talk, good Raiders talk overall. That would be great. But anyways, just like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, set your alarm clocks, wake up the neighbor, share this with everyone. I don't care. Do what you got to do. Have a good night. God bless.